Okay, what's up, everyone? Swinging Bull here with PB Alerts, and welcome to another earnings stream. We got some good ones for today. Intel and Google are both reporting. Google's supposed to report right at 4 p.m. Eastern, according to earnings whispers. The bell for the regular session just rang for the closing. Got the 5-minute chart on Google pulled up on my left, and on the right side of my screen is Intel. So let me just take another peek real quick. And also, don't forget about our second annual Traders Paradise event in Chicago this year from June 9th through June 12th. It's our second time doing it. Last year, we had it in Delray Beach. But links in the description if you want more info about the Traders Paradise. Let's go back to the sticks here. All right. Let's see if either one of these companies end up withholding the guidance. The companies have been doing that lately with their earnings because of the uncertainty with the tariffs still lingering. But let's see what happens with these two. So Google's already getting a little bit of a reaction. Let me just go over here. Google, according to earnings whispers, is supposed to report at 4 p.m. Eastern. That's right now. So let's just see what we got here. Okay, Intel's getting a negative reaction. I did notice, though, I don't think Intel's supposed to report at 4 p.m. as well. So both of these companies' data should be out. Intel's got a lot of volatility going on right now. Intel's still trying to decide where it's going to go, but initial negative reaction down to 20.44. Let's see if it wicks back up or not. Google's getting an initial positive reaction. Let's look at my other screen here and see if we got some data on Google. Okay, Google's catching a little bit of a bid here. It's up over, it's kind of just real volatile right now, so it's wicking up and down pretty sporadically. Just keep our eye on it. Let me go back over here. Okay. You know, I was going to be bullish on Google. I decided to sit out of this earnings. I guess I probably shouldn't have and just maybe gone with it, but I was just unsure because if they withhold the guidance until Q2 like Tesla did, might not have too much of a reaction. Now Tesla ended up having a positive reaction because Elon said he was going to spend more time with the companies instead of Doge, so investors like that, but they still withheld guidance and aren't releasing any updated guidance till Q2 earnings. Google looks like it's catching a bid. It's up almost 4% here. Closed the regular session at 159.28, up 2.5% on the day. Sitting here in after hours, up over $7 a share. It's up almost 5% now. So positive reaction for Google so far. Intel, it looks a bit weak. Initial reaction negative. It did wick down to 20.44. Kind of just flickering around $21 right now. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But Google's still going, up almost 6% now. Let me get some stuff posted on the bottom of my screen on YouTube for EPS and revenue and that kind of stuff. Okay. Their Q1 2025 revenues for Google did increase 12%. Or 14% in constant currency, but year over year to 90.2 billion, reflecting robust momentum across the business with Google search and other YouTube ads, of course, Google subscriptions, platforms and devices, Google Cloud reach, delivering double-digit growth rates. So pretty great growth. Google's showing here with their earnings, double-digit growth. Also, their services revenues increased 10% to 77.3 billion. Okay, let me just go here. Google Cloud revenues increased 28%. Wow, almost a 30% there. Net income increased 46%. EPS increased 49%. So they just smashed the earnings out of the park here, folks. They also announced, oh wow, this is a good kicker. Google also announced a 5% increase to their dividend. So they smashed growth expectations, increased their dividend by 5%. That's going to be a quarterly cash dividend of 0.21. Couple notes from the CEO of Google. We'll talk about Intel here in a minute, but Google's the one getting some nice price action here to the upside. Sundar, the CEO of Google: we're pleased with our strong Q1 results, which reflect healthy growth and momentum across the business. No kidding about the growth, double-digit growth across the board there. And he also says reflects healthy growth and momentum across the business. Underpinning this growth is our unique full stack approach to AI. This quarter was super exciting as we rolled out Gemini 2.5, our most intelligent AI model, which is achieving breakthroughs in performance and is an extraordinary foundation for our future innovation. Google search saw continued strong growth, boosted by the engagement we're seeing with features like AI overviews. Y'all notice now when you Google something, you'll have a little snippet at the top of the screen, a little AI preview of what you Googled. This quarter was super exciting. As okay, we already went over that. Search saw continued growth that's the Google search with the AI overviews. We talked about that. And that now has 1.5 billion users per month. Okay, driven by YouTube and Google One, we surpassed 270 million paid subscribers, paid subscriptions, and cloud grew rapidly with significant demand for the solutions. Really good stuff by Google. Growth is off the charts, and they increased their dividend by 5%. That's outstanding. Intel, not so much. We're going to talk about that in a second. But let me, Shai Balor. Thank you, sir, for posting some data for me. I'll go ahead and post that on the bottom of my screen on YouTube. Always appreciate Shai, and look forward to seeing you in Chicago, brother, in June for Traders Paradise. Shai will be there as well. Let me post this some of these Google results on the bottom of my screen so people just logging in here can kind of see what's going on there. So sales came in at 19.2 billion versus the estimate of 89.2 billion. EPS 2.81 versus the forecast was only 2.03. Google Cloud sales 12.26 billion. The estimate was 12.3 billion. So they didn't hit the estimate on Google Cloud sales, but nonetheless, great growth. Looks like double-digit growth across the board. So good stuff there. And also Google announced a $70 billion share buyback. So that's why it's getting a positive reaction, folks. I mean, it's up a little over 4%. Not anything too crazy, but definitely a positive reaction. So that's just a recipe for a good reaction. They got double-digit growth pretty much across the board. They increased their dividend by 5%. Another green check mark. And they announced a new $70 billion share buyback. So Google came out the gate swinging, and it looks like they delivered. Investors are loving it. So Google's up pretty good right now. Let me look at a few other things. Quarterly revenue on a really nice incline. Here, I'll show this graphic real quick just so you can see the quarterly revenue chart. This is in the billions. So nice sliding scale upwards dating back from 2020. So outstanding growth, especially on the revenue side. Investors are loving this. Okay, let me just go back down here. Had some call sweeps going in before the regular session bell rang for the closing. Got a neat little graphic here. This is where you can see they beat EPS by 40%. Outstanding. Revenue beat by 1% on the revenue. EPS, this is the year-over-year numbers I was talking about earlier. EPS up 49% year-over-year. That is amazing. Revenue up 12% year-over-year. EPS up 31% quarter over quarter. Revenue was down 6% quarter over quarter, but the double-digit growth is going to be with your year-over-year numbers. So that's really good to see there. We move this back over, and just a grand slam by Google. Hats off to them. They did a great job. Operating margin 34%. Their net income also smashed it out of the park. So that's positive net income. Came in at 34.54 billion. The estimate on that was only 24 billion, like 24, 25 billion. They beat the positive net income forecast by $10 billion. They totally just smashed a homer on this one. Grand slam. Let's see here. Let me look at some other ones here. That EPS beat is just amazing. 2.81 versus the forecast of 2.01. That's just a huge beat there on EPS. And that $70 billion share buyback or repurchase or what have you, that's on the Class A and the Class C shares. So that's Class A, of course, which has the voting rights. That's ticker GOOGL. And then the Class C shares is just GOOG, right? GOOG. Yeah, right. A little bit before closing. Actually, this was kind of in the afternoon. There was a huge $10 million in the money call leap put on Google. That came from that info came from Cheddar Flow. All right. Well, like I said, EPS the year over year for Google, 49% double-digit, super double-digit growth there, and the revenue 12% year-over-year growth there on the revenue. So just fantastic data and results from Google's earnings. All right, so we know Google's probably pretty solid, right? Let's go over to Intel. It's almost 4:15 p.m. Let's go to Intel, see what's going on with them because investors are not liking what's going on with Intel's earnings data. Yeah, Hockey Lounge on YouTube. I was gonna is what everyone says every earnings call. Yeah, the difference is I was gonna but didn't because I was concerned they were gonna withhold the guidance. So I actually had a reason why I was gonna. But yeah, appreciate the comment, Hockey League. But yeah, of course, everything looks good in hindsight. So I totally agree with what you're saying. Let's see. Okay, INTC right here. They lowered guidance. All right, they lowered guidance. That's investors hate that. They hate it. So they lowered guidance. This one guy on Twitter says don't have enough space on the screen for that red candle. All right, let's take a look at Intel real quick and see what they got. All right, so EPS forecast was flat, right? 0.00. They reported 0.13, so they did beat on EPS. Revenue forecast was 12.3 billion, and they reported 12.66 billion. So they did beat revenue by 3%. Problem is, they lowered guidance. That's not what you want to see. We see this time and time again, where a company beats EPS. They beat revenue, sometimes by a lot. And all it takes is them lowering guidance, whether it's the remainder of the current quarter or lowering the guidance for the remainder of the fiscal year. Either one of those things, and it's going to sell. So EPS and revenue really doesn't hold a lot of weight if they're messing around with the guidance. So that's what Intel's problem is right now. And year-over-year numbers are not too good either. They're bad, actually. EPS down 28% year-over-year, even though they beat the forecast on this earnings, but year-over-year, still down. Revenue down year-over-year. EPS kind of unchanged quarter-over-quarter, and the revenue was down 11% quarter-over-quarter. So again, even though they beat EPS and revenue, adjusting their guidance downwards is what's hurting them right now. So let me see if I can find some other stuff for everybody. Okay, couple notes from Intel. I got my eye on Google over here on the left. Let me draw a fib on this real quick. I just want to see some of these levels. Okay, let's take a look. Oops, let me redraw that. Okay, so they're sitting right around like 38% retrace, right around 165 and some change. See if that level can hold. they retrace half of this initial pump, that brings them down to like 164 bucks. Golden fib at 163. So definitely would, I understand a healthy pullback. Okay, that's fine. But would definitely like it holding 163, and then maybe bounce there, but it might not even get down there. Looks like there's some buyers entering the picture right now. Let me see time and sales over here. Kind of a mixture. Let me see order book. Okay, yeah, we still got a pretty good buy side imbalance. So this might be coming up to make another after hours high. Keep your eyes on it. This is the 5-minute chart. I suppose I can go 1 minute since the earnings just got released. Okay, let me do that. That's fine. Let me just move this over a little bit so I can see. All right. So it's trying to hold 165 and some change right now. It did come down to 165 a share. Let's see if it can kind of hold there. But again, 163 would definitely be the level I would like it to hold. I don't really see anything that would cause this to come back down. I mean, they increased the dividend by 5%. They got a $70 billion share buyback plan announced. They beat EPS by a ton, and they beat revenue. So this maybe just some healthy profit taking or healthy pullback here. We'll see. Back over to Intel, though. They did beat EPS. They did beat revenue, but they lowered guidance. And their investors are selling right now. Couple notes from the Intel CEO. This is the guy that just got put in that position, Lip Bhutan. He said first quarter was a step in the right direction. You got to understand, too, this new CEO with Intel, he's just kind of now taking over. He's probably got a lot of damage control to do, a lot of things he's probably fixing to kind of right the ship, right? So this is a couple comments from him. The first quarter was a step in the right direction, but there are no quick fixes as we work to get back on a path to gaining market share and driving sustainable growth. That's what the CEO said. I'm taking swift actions to drive better execution and operational efficiency while empowering our engineers to create great products. We're going back to basics by listening to our customers and making the changes needed to build the new Intel. So he basically has to rebuild the whole company now, right? It was a solid start to the year as we executed well on our priorities. This is from the CFO, David Zinsner. The current macro environment is creating elevated uncertainty across the industry, which is reflected in our outlook, and hence why they lowered guidance. We are taking a disciplined and prudent approach to support continued investment in our core products and foundry businesses, while maximizing operational cost savings and capital efficiency. So there you go. That's directly from the horse's mouth from the CFO. Basically lowered guidance because of elevated uncertainty across that industry. All right. You can maybe take a look at some of the bigger time frames and see where this potentially might bottom out. I mean, maybe 19 bucks could be something there. I mean, I know it dipped down to 17 and some change earlier this month. But more of a solid level, I think, would be around 19 bucks. We could probably do 19 as S1, maybe like 17.50 as S2, something like that. That's what I would be looking at the bigger time frames. They'd close the regular session at $21.49 a share. They were up a little over 4% on the day. Now they're sitting here at 20 bucks an after hour, so they are down 6.5%, about $1.40 a share. But again, my support one would be 19 bucks. For you Intel bulls out there, I know it's having a negative reaction right now. I mean, in the bigger picture, it's not really that bad of a negative reaction. I mean, it is pulling back a little bit, but it's not anything crazy like it's selling off, in 15 bucks or something. So for the Intel bulls out there, just keep your eye, bigger time frame levels. S1, maybe look at 19. S2, probably around 17.50. Probably be good levels just to keep in mind. So that's what's going on, folks. Google had great earnings. They're pulling back a little bit now, but that's okay. They're still holding above a 50% retrace, which is right around 164 bucks a share. So let's see if maybe that level holds. See, I either think 163 or 164. We get one of those two levels to hold, maybe solidify a higher low on this chart, and then maybe it starts going back up to retest the after hours high. So we'll keep our eyes on it. Got another 3.5 hours of after hours price action, and then of course the pre-market data. Stickman on Discord said that sounds like a gimmick from Intel or a politician. Yeah, I know, doesn't it? Okay, so Google, great earnings data. Again, just to summarize before I move on here, they increased their dividend by 5%. They beat EPS by almost, they beat EPS by 40%, the forecast. And the EPS was up 49% year over year. And they beat revenue forecasts, $70 billion share buyback. And again, they increased the dividend by 5%. Intel, just a quick summary for Intel. Again, they did beat EPS and they did beat revenue just by a little bit, but year over year numbers weren't too good. Quarter over quarter numbers weren't too good, and they lowered guidance because of elevated uncertainty in their industry. So that kind of sums it up there. I'm not even going to bother drawing a fib on Intel yet because it looks like it might make a couple new after hour lows here. 19.81 a share is what it hit when it initially came down. We'll keep our eye on it. As soon as it looks like it's starting to bottom out, I'll throw a fib on there and see what kind of levels we're dealing with. Pivot points, if you will. So yeah, that kind of sums it up. Also, another piece of info about Intel. They announced that they're going to lay off 20,000 employees. Just announced with their earnings data. So they're laying off 20,000 employees. Not good. Investors don't like that. I think it's more the guidance being reduced is what really got them, to be honest with you. This is from the earnings time. Let me just kind of show you this little graph from Intel here. Let me actually move this back over. Let's see if I can just put it right here. So revenue 12.7 billion. You can see the 0% year over year change. The adjusted EPS 0.13. Yes, it did beat forecast, but that's a 28% year over year in the red. That's not good. Net income, a negative 821 million. Now, that is 80% green year over year, because I guess the same time last year they lost even more than 821 million. But, obviously not pulling a profit. Operating income minus 301 million. That's down 72% year over year. But yeah, again, adjusting that guidance downwards is really what got them, I think. And of course, the year over year numbers aren't too well. They're not too good. It's about 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Looks like we got the reactions. Looks like we got the reactions. It doesn't look like, I'm not sure if Intel is going to be retracing this one because they lowered guidance. So for the Intel bulls, I do think the new CEO will eventually get that company back into shape. So perhaps maybe you can look at this as perhaps maybe a discount if you're accumulating shares for the long run. But also once the CEO turns the company around and some of their financials start getting better, I definitely think there's some upside with Intel. It's just not happening today or probably anytime in the near future. Google, I could definitely see it did its little pullback. Looks like buyers are trying to step up to the plate again. So let's see if this level here, it's right around 164. Let's see if that holds as a higher low, and this thing could come up for another leg up. We'll see. Just keep your eye on it. Again, the golden fib right around 163. That's what I would prefer. If it does come down a little bit more, 163, I would love for that to hold. But good data all around for Google. So like I said, I don't really see this coming down unless there's something geopolitical happens and the entire market sells off. But outside of that, the data is great. It's pulling back a little bit now. I could definitely see this possibly making another leg up. Go back over here. Okay. All right, let's talk about Traders Paradise real quick before I end the stream. Again, this is our second in-person event. All right, this is an in-person event. The one we did last year was in Delray Beach. The owner of the PB Alerts was there, along with the other analysts. We just had a blast. Private dinners, live trading every morning, releasing new strategies, releasing new indicators for everyone. It was just an awesome time last year. This year, second annual Traders Paradise is going to be in Chicago from June 9th through the 12th. And there's a link in the description. It says Traders Paradise. It'll get you all the info. We do have, let me just go over just real quick what's kind of involved with the conference. So of course it's a 4-day event, okay? And there's going to be live trading at market open. So bring your laptop so you can trade along with us. There's going to be interactive workshops. There's going to be live masterclass on advanced options and swing trading. Step-by-step instruction from the owner, Big Quench. His name's Austin. He's going to be there. He's going to show you how he uses his advanced range trading strategy. And then also Shai Balor. Can't wait to talk with him again. I met him in Delray Beach last year. Looking forward to seeing him again in Chicago. He's going to be doing an AI and tech space deep dive, basically insights on where institutions are placing their bets from now until throughout the end of 2025. So can't wait to be involved and listen to Shai on that session. Also, it's going to be guidance on development with Lou Bassanese. So development as an investor. Lou Bassanese is going to be there. The guy's famous. He's been on several large media outlets, Fox News, CNBC. I mean, you name it. He's been on TV. He's going to have his own session there, and it's how to develop as an investor. So I'm really looking forward to that. Then, of course, we do have a new Trading View indicator coming out. So we're going to be revealing that. And of course, once you buy your tickets, make sure you contact the hotel rooms. We did block off a block of 50 hotel rooms. Once those are booked, there's not going to be any more discounts on the rooms. But right now, there's still plenty of rooms available. There have been a lot of tickets sold, but we still have a good chunk of rooms available. And also at the event, there's going to be private dinners. So we're going to be able to sit down at private dinners with all the speakers and have, really private conversations and mentorship sessions, if you will. So there's basically 3 tickets. All right. The bronze ticket, it's only 2 days of the conference out of the 4. So that's the bronze ticket. And the silver ticket is 3 days of the conference out of the 4. And the gold ticket, which is the top ticket, that's all 4 days of the conference. All right. And the private VIP dinners with all the guest speakers, that's only included in the gold ticket. All right. So the bronze and silver won't unfortunately get the private dinners, but they're still going to be, present at all the sessions with Lou Bassanese and Shai and all that. They just won't have a chance to sit down at a private dinner behind closed doors and really, that's the fun times right there. There is a 40% off discount going on right now just for the bronze and silver package. All right. I'm not sure how much longer the discount's going to be going on for, but 40% off. I mean, that's almost half off, right? That's only the bronze and silver tickets. That discount does not apply to the gold ticket. All right. And then, of course, we got some frequently asked questions at the bottom of this page. So everything I just went over is, if you click the link in the description of the stream, it take you right to this page that I'm on right now. All right. But yeah, other than that, I hope everyone can make the event, the in-person event in Chicago. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. And if you do buy a ticket, again, get your hotel room. The hotel room is at the Hyatt Regency, O'Hare, Chicago. That's the name of the hotel. So it's the Hyatt Regency. After you get your ticket, call the hotel right away. Make sure you can get the discounted hotel room. All right. But yeah, with that said, again, I hope I can have a chance to meet some new people in Chicago. And if you do get your ticket, get your hotel room, join the Discord too. Tag me in the chat. I'll come say hello. But other than that, I hope everyone enjoyed the stream, and I'll see everyone next time. Cheers, y'all.